Start with you were here for opening night and just the entire franchise. You can kind of just talk about what that night was like for you and just the memories you have from that.
Yeah. I'll never forget. We were sitting up in section 308 or 306 on the front row there. We were season ticket holders. My whole family was there, and the Predators were playing, I think, the Florida Panthers. Yeah, and. It was my first NHL game, my first ever really. I didn't watch a bunch on TV, but it was my first NHL game that I went to, and all I could just keep thinking was how cool it'd be to play the game of hockey as a job. And from there on, I was hooked. I'd always heard all these stories my dad and my grandfather had spoke about, and to actually see that in real life, in person was pretty unbelievable.
You obviously grew up playing there in Nashville for a little while before you went off. What was it like playing youth hockey here in Nashville, and how much has it grown since then, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I still have a lot of good buddies that I played with growing up that I still keep in contact with, and the game has grown tremendously down here. I mean, now we have, I think, 5 or 6 sheets of ice. When I was growing up, we had one. We had 2 ice sessions a week, one for 45 minutes, the other was for 45 minutes as well. We split the ice with another team. So hockey's grown tremendously. The area has really embraced the team, and the fan base has grown tremendously. Obviously, that's built on a lot of success they've had, which is great, and hopefully it only continues.
I mean, the community kind of regards you as kind of a pioneer for that. I mean, what do you think of when people tell you that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty humbling. I mean, I owe a lot of that to my mom and dad, and for all the hard work they put in, and all the early mornings they drove me to the rink and everything else. And for a lot of people that believed in me and always stayed behind me, and those are the people that deserve all the credit.
I'm sure you've been asked this about 1,000 times. You were drafted by the Predators. Just what was it like on that day when you realized you were drafted by them?
I couldn't believe it because I thought I was going to go to Montreal because they had 3 picks before Nashville even had 1. And when they said from Brooklyn, Tennessee, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't say it on the camera, but you know what I'm trying to say. So it was pretty awesome.
Take me back to your first year up there in Buffalo. You got the hat trick. Obviously, it was one of the highlights of your career. Can you just kind of talk about that game and kind of how exciting that was for you?
Yeah, I tell everyone the first thing is those were probably the 3 ugliest goals I ever scored. But hey, hat trick's a hat trick, right? So, but yeah, it was awesome, man. I mean, I couldn't believe that all 3 of those happened, especially with the way that at the time we were in the middle of a playoff race. We needed every point we could possibly get. We're down 3-1, and I've scored 2 goals to tie it late, and we went in overtime on a Martin Erat one-timer. So it was awesome. It was.
Take me back to your time at Wisconsin, won the Hobie Baker. What was college hockey, just the overall experience like for you?
The one word that people always use is camaraderie, and the relationships and friendships that I had there, with not only my class but some of these younger classes. I became captain there. Was bar none. We actually had a blast on and off the ice. We all loved each other. We were like a brotherhood there, and camaraderie I have and the relationship I have with those guys will never be broken.
Obviously, you had the injury, and now you're scouting. What have you been doing since you stopped playing hockey, and just how's life kind of been for you?
Yeah, life's been great. I mean, I got married in August to my wife, who resides in Chicago. That's where home is now for us, and I've been scouting with Montreal Canadiens, Montreal Canadiens. That's where I played. See, brain surgery. That's what it does to you. No, scouting with Columbus Blue Jackets, and it's been a little, very different being on the management side, but it's been great, and I love it.
Obviously, got a chance to play for Montreal, like you said. Just what was that experience like for you playing with all your family history there?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible, man. It really was. I had an absolute blast there. The first game in Montreal was phenomenal. I mean, the fan base and the crowd and everything else, and the history in that building is just doesn't even feel like a hockey game. It really doesn't. It feels like some kind of show that you're putting on or something. The feeling is awesome.
I mean, is that really special? I mean, you got a chance to play for the team where you grew up in the Predators, and then after that, got traded to the team where your family was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people always say to me, "I can't believe your career ended so short." And I say, "Hey, let me tell you what I accomplished in my career and all the things that I did, and how lucky I was, and how thankful I was." And there's so many people these days that will never probably experience anything close to what I've experienced. So I don't look at the negative sides, look at the positive sides of things. And Hobie Baker, scholarship, the relationships I have all the way through hockey, and the people I've met, like you said, playing for my hometown team, play for the Montreal Canadiens where my grandfather was, and my dad, and my great-grandfather, and everything else. I mean, just those things. I scored a hat trick in the NHL. I mean, the things I'm rolling off my tongue, it's like, I mean, wow, that's pretty freaking unbelievable, you know? So I don't look at the negative things in life. I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm starting a new chapter, and we'll see what it holds.
Thanks, Blake.
And because hockey's such a family thing for you, have you been able to catch any of the games that your brother's been able to play in lately?
Oh yeah. I've seen Bryce play twice when they played up in Wisconsin, and I haven't caught my brother this year, but I saw Bass play last year quite a bit. So.
So now, what is it? What's a day in the life of a scout? Because obviously lots of travel and everything.
Yeah, a lot of travel. Like this week, I'll be on the road for a week. I go from Chicago, flew down here to Nashville, go to Dallas tomorrow, then over to Austin, Texas, then over to San Jose. I'll be in San Jose for 3 days and then back home. So pretty much just traveling from city to city, watching the games, writing reports, and conference calls with the GMs and presidents and letting them know, get them updates on different guys.
It seems like being a scout, it doesn't seem like you have much of an off season because as soon as the season ends, you're already preparing for next season.
Yeah,
things
exactly.
like that. How does the off season work for you?
I mean the off season's actually kind of nice. You get a couple months off in the middle of the summer to kind of take your time alone and hopefully vacation a lot this year. But we have the draft and trades go down to the draft, and there's trades in the summertime, so you have to be around, so answer calls and this, that, and the other comes up with your guys.
So I guess now just being back in Nashville, obviously it hasn't been too long since you've been here, but what is it like to come back?
Yeah, it's been great, man. I mean, we've had an absolute blast. Obviously my mom and dad still live here, so I come back quite a bit, and I love this city. With the new convention center, it's my first time back since that, but it's incredible. I think it's only going to help the city that much more, and I love Nashville.